Digital technology is revolutionizing our ability to manipulate, change, and recreate images. We can create new images digitally, and we can scan existing film and photographs and record them in digital form. Sound can also be digitized. Once digitally captured material exists, wherever its source, it can be changed in ways not achievable in an analog world. This makes it possible to create digitally created human actors, also known as Synthespians. The Synthespian, an artificially created human actor, is the Hollywood Screen Actors Guild's nightmare. The word was coined by LA-based digital effects expert Jeff Glazer when he created the industry's first virtual actor for his 1988 short film Nestor Sexton for President. The genre of science fiction confronts the threats and possibilities of science and technology, even as it reveals the hopes and fears, conflicts and limitations of contemporary society. Each decade of science fiction narratives addresses the technologies of the time. Thus, in early cinema, the focus was on the marvel of electricity, as is evident in films featuring scientists using electricity to animate inanimate bodies, such as the robot Maria in Metropolis and Dr. Victor Frankenstein's monster in Frankenstein. Since then, science fiction has progressed from the mechanical and electrical, through the chemical and the cybernetic, to genetic and digital coding, and now to a synthetic, wherein all such modes of engineering artificial humans may come together. Filmmaking techniques and their science-fictional relationship to creating digital and animated characters is central to the film The Congress by Ari Folkman, which dramatizes the legal, ethical, technological, and metaphysical challenges of the digitization of the human. It stars Robin Wright as Robin Wright, an actress who allows a film studio to capture and digitize her voice and image and to cast her synthespian self as an autonomous actor in subsequent film productions. Conceptually, this builds on earlier films about the creation of synthetic actors such as Simone, where the synthespian is a fantasy figure that replaces diva actresses, offering virtual performances, free labor, and complete directorial control. Remarkably, technology for digitizing the human has advanced to the point where sophisticated labs with controlled lighting and trained actors are no longer required. For example, since 2017, it has been possible to create high-fidelity digital doubles of actors or public figures, even resurrecting those who are deceased or reanimating their youthful selves from a single photograph, rather than video footage or performance capture. On November 6 of 2019, The Hollywood Reporter released the news that James Dean would be making a comeback. The cultural icon who died in 1955 will return to the screen via CGI using actual footage and photos for Finding Jack. The note continues saying, James Dean, who died in a car crash at the age of 24, is making an unexpected return to the big screen. The cultural icon has been posthumously cast in the Vietnam-era action drama Finding Jack. While Finding Jack will be a live action, The Hollywood Reporter understands that Dean's performance will be voiced by another actor. The filmmakers are now hoping that the CGI technology used to bring Dean back to life on screen could soon be deployed on other well-known figures. This opens up a whole new opportunity for many of our clients who are no longer with us, said Mark Rosler, CEO of CMG Worldwide, which represents Dean's family alongside more than 1,700 entertainment, sports, music, and historical personalities, including the likes of Burt Reynolds, Christopher Reeve, Ingrid Bergman, Neil Armstrong, Bette Davis, and Jack Lemmon, who now they hope to rapidly close new deals for. Of course, Ernst and Golick aren't breaking new ground here. The 2016 film Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, used digital effects to bring back late actor Peter Cushing, who passed away in 1994 at the age of 81, so he could reprise his role as the villainous Grand Moff Tarkin. Other films like 2015's Fury 7, 2000's Gladiator, and 1994's The Crow used digital trickery to compensate for the untimely death of an actor. But Rogue One was different. This was bringing back someone who had been gone for decades. This wasn't just sleight of hand to get a project over the finish line. This was cheating death. Naturally, the practice doesn't sit well with everyone. After the announcement of finding Jack, the filmmakers were met with a near-immediate online backlash from both moviegoers and A-list stars. Actor Chris Evans tweeted his repulsion towards this news, calling it shameful. Zelda Williams, Robin Williams' daughter, tweeted about it, calling the producers and director out for puppeteering the dead for their clout. Williams and Evans were far from alone, with Lord of the Rings star Elijah Wood, Grammy winner Diane Warren, and Canadian actor Devon Sawa all voicing their disapproval. Mexican actress Ana Cecilia Castro was surprised by this news and thinks technology should be used for epic things. We cannot rely so much on technology to create new cinema. There is a worry among some actors that they are going to be fully taken over by the CG world, but I don't know, says Martin Colby, visual effects supervisor at Image Engine, the FX house that has been consulted about the VFX for Finding Jack, and which boasts a resume of FX-heavy films including Logan, Spider-Man Far From Home, John Wick Chapter 3, and Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald. I think there's always going to be a need for the emotion and for what an actor brings, that sense of connection. Even for digital humans, you're still going to need a human to drive those moments. Look at something like Gemini Man. That performance is driven by a human, not technology. Actress Ana Cecilia feels the same way.
I think that actors, what they have and what we do is that we revive emotions, and we have the possibility to transmit emotions with our acting, and I think technology has not evolved that much, or CGI cannot do that, cannot transmit emotions through a screen with reviving an actor. I mean, the great actors are great actors because what they did in their time and what they did with their full body and with their full sense and emotions. I don't think that CGI could be possible to do that, and I think that's taking off opportunity for new talent and new actors to be discovered.
Still, there is some resistance from many real-flesh thespians. Martial arts legend Jet Li said in an interview for Chinese television that he turned down a role in the 1999 sci-fi classic The Matrix because he would have to be digitally scanned and he feared the loss of ownership for his own talents. It was a commercial struggle for me, said Li. They wanted to record and copy all my moves into a digital library. By the end of the recording, the rights to these moves would go to them. I was thinking, I've been training my entire life, and we martial artists could only grow older. Yet, they could own my moves as an intellectual property forever. So I say I couldn't do that. Similarly, Robin Williams has his name, likeness, and even signature entered into a trust that restricts usage for 25 years after his death, mostly to avoid situations that befell the likes of icons Audrey Hepburn and Fred Astaire, who ended up posthumously hawking chocolate and vacuum cleaners for ads. California passed a law in 1984 establishing the post-mortem right of publicity for 50 years after an actor's death. The law was a response to a court ruling that Bela Lugosi's heirs had no power to prevent the use of his image in Dracula merchandise. At the urging of the Screen Actors Guild, the law has since extended the right to 70 years. Of course, this only protects actors who lived and worked in California. In the UK, where Cushing lived and died, there is no such law. However, Lucasfilm did reach out to his state to establish permission before embarking on Rogue One, despite having ownership of the character likeness. When asking Mexican actress Ana Cecilia, her answer was of an honest, hopeful nature.
I just think that great directors are more creative, and they do rely on technology, they do trust in technology, but I think their creativeness go beyond that, and I don't think that's necessary to put limits to technology, because it has done great things with movies, but I don't know, I don't think it will be great to legalize this. I don't think we can trust great directors and their creativity to discover new talents and to discover new things, to do great things with all the departments that involve human beings and that involve human creativity, and just be like another part of it, like another little piece of the cake would be technology, but with all this like human behavior and all this human creativity, then you add just technology to do great things, but not just rely or the technology to be the principal part of the movies.
Colpit agrees by saying, "A lot of this is simply coming from the expanding world of filmmaking. One of the things about visual effects in general is that if the filmmakers were able to capture in camera live all of their creative dreams, they would. But visual effects is there for all the things they cannot. What we're doing with digital humans is essentially enabling filmmakers to go beyond what they're capable of capturing in camera." Nevertheless, when questioned why couldn't they give this role to an actual human, as Sawa tweeted, Ernst and Golitz replied would be, "We searched high and low for the perfect character to portray the role of Rogan, which has some extreme complex character arcs, and after months of research, we decided on James Dean." They also say this is not a publicity gimmick, but this kind of answers makes everyone think it clearly is. The ethical quandaries playing out in screen space have both troubling and fascinating parallels with contemporary technological developments, opening up a dialogue between cognitive science, affective computing, and film studies. The expansion of new technologies in the fields of synthetic biology, virtual human research, and digital doubles for screen media raises ethical issues related to design, method, application, and distribution. Accordingly, some ethical concerns familiar to the sciences arise in relation to the ramifications of special effects and technologies involving virtual or synthetic humans and synthespians in screen media. While it may be a new line of work to explore and grow for the VFX department, and less work and more control for the production department, it also means jobs at risk for actors, makeup artists, costume designers, hairstylists, etc. It's not a crime against humanity to move forward, but it is when doing so irresponsibly and at the expense of other people's future.